I gotta say it. The Brutalist 2024 came this year, came and went. Saw a couple of headlines about this flick. Got a couple Oscar nods. Got a win. A couple wins. The Brutalist is one of the best movies of our age. It's of a time of storytelling that's just gone. When you watch movies, even when we know of an Oscar race, these are the movies we hope are there. It has been some time. I have frustration, I have regret deep in me that this movie didn't win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Everything. But he got some awards, and that's fine. But let's talk about this movie.
Quiet on the set!
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
The number one thing, the number one objective in storytelling is to teach the audience. You have to teach the audience members. I think with that precept, with that position as a creator, and in this case, a filmmaker, you're forced to build education into your narrative. You toe the line. I think with most subjects, when you do that, people will get interested. And sometimes these subjects, like just for example, we just did a discussion on To Live and Die in LA, where you can learn about counterfeiting. You can learn about printing your own money in that movie. So much so that the government had to help edit some of that movie because it did it too well. The Brutalist is an education on building. But it's not just the architecture, it's not the building, it's not the monument that they're creating in this movie. It's of a man. It's of a character. We see him being built. And in the final moments, in the epilogue of this 3-hour masterpiece. And I say 3 hour because it's 3 hours and 34 minutes. It's broken up in chapters. We see the chapters laid out. And I love it when this is done effectively in American cinema. In the epilogue, we see Adrian Brody. He's old, he's in the wheelchair, and he's being honored. There's a museum. There's an exhibition with his work on his behalf. And he gets a speech. And the speech is really about the next move, looking up, seeing a little bit of that hope, but feeling the hope. And that it can be created and instilled in us. Meaning he designed that into his structures, into his buildings. And it's the type of metaphor that is so deep. It's frustrating because you have to watch this movie again a few times. He's got a little bit of a drug problem in this movie. That's what these movies do to us. They're a shot of heroin that we get addicted to, and it makes us want to watch more movies. But it makes us want to be obsessed with this movie. So, just with this discussion, I don't know where to go. Because I was in Florida. We come back. I believe I was on very little sleep, even going into this trip. Sleep. I feel like I had my best sleep while flying, and it's a 2-hour 20-minute flight to and back from Florida. Not round trip, but I feel like I had my best sleep while flying. But I was up. I went back to the room a little bit early. The very small hotel television in the resort, by the way. But the TV is, oh my god, it's almost, my laptop was almost as big as the screen. But they had the Oscars, and I was so eager to watch. And it's fun that Nora won. It's fun to see Baker get some. He got what he's capable of. But this was the movie of the year. And disappointed that Bradley Corbet, this is our writer-director, co-writer, but director. It's frustrating that he did not get Best Director. I don't know how that happens. I really don't. Previously, I mean, he did this movie called Vox Lux in 2018. And I thought it was like maybe like an Amazon movie. I remember watching some of this movie. I never finished it. And I never went back to it. But visually, just like stunning. I don't know too much about his other movies. I feel like Simon Killer, The Sleepwalker, Childhood of the Leader, Vox Lux. He's got another movie coming out this year, Ain Lee. He's a filmmaker I can't speak of. But Adrien Brody wins Best Actor, and that's good. But when Bradley here did not get Best Director, I knew it was in trouble. And I just got, this movie is one of those movies, very much like Phantom Thread. It speaks to me in such a large volume. It's hard to understand how a human hand, a human mind could make this movie. The things that are thought out within this movie, what we see on camera, what is displayed, the style of storytelling is absolutely. I mean, this is the other thing. Like, how does this not get Best Editor? Because the editing of this movie is so it leads into things off screen that we don't see. We continuously don't get outcomes of events. We're only led to assume. And this is throughout the entire movie, including the epilogue. And that's only communicated when we have perfect editing. It needs to be perfect because these are moments. Now, we have an overture. We have an intermission. I don't know if they were shorter because I'm watching the movie at home. Daniel Blumberg, this is our composer. He wins this year. Yeah, if you could have given him 2 Oscars, give him 2. I kind of want to research if the intermission and overture were longer, because you really feel like those would have been showcases for his music. And if you go to movies of old, I believe like intermissions used to be 5 minutes, maybe 3, and overtures sometimes were. I think I want to say there's like a really long one for Ben-Hur, or maybe it's the 10 Commandments. I love overtures. I love just feeling the music, just getting my head wrapped around what's about to be presented. The Brutalist is the example of a filmmaker chaining you to a chair and owning you. During this, I felt like, first time watching it, I felt like I'm James Bond in Casino Royale. The Daniel Craig one, by the way. Yeah, I'm like strapped to a chair being tortured. Like, do with me. You own me. Like, you have me right now. I don't know, AKAPAD. This is, to me, clearly the best film of the year. Best film of the year by far. It's frustrating. It really is. I will enjoy this movie for many years to come. I want to get more into this later, but I wanted to drop something while the Oscars were still kind of on in everyone's thoughts. And yes, we will do Anora, because we are a Scott Baker fanboy here. Yes, we do like Scott Baker. Anora just it wasn't there. It just wasn't Best Picture. That's all. Doesn't mean it's not great or entertaining or well made. It's just not Best Picture. All right, AK Powder, see this movie and help me bring back the American drama.
Okay, that's a wrap.